It's mailbag time here at Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey, answering all of your questions on and around the NFL as part of our live show here on Monday. First up from Cody Raines, Saints trade for Baker Mayfield, trade up for Jermaine Johnson, take Chris Olave, then Kyren Williams. Okay, so the Saints are wheeling and dealing here. If you're out on Winston, which I'm not sure they are, maybe the Browns eat some money, so we'll allow that one there. Baker, Winston, QB competition. That's fun. Maybe you have your franchise guy there if you're lucky. Trade up for Jermaine Johnson. Okay, that's a little aggressive. I don't know if you really need to spend another first-round pick on an edge because he spent 3 of those guys, for including Cam Jordan, who's played like one. But Peyton Turner and Marcus Davenport there. Take Chris Olave. I'm sold there. And I love Kyren Williams, late day 2, more likely early day 3. Left tackle's my only concern on that move, but those are some big-time splashes there, Cody. From Draco Pimpin. Nice. What are your top draft picks for the Niners post-Jimmy trade? If you mean like positions of need or like what happens if they can trade Jimmy G and free up some cap space, I think you're looking... I don't hate the idea of adding a receiver. I doubt that's the route they'd go. I feel like they're going to look at other areas of focal point. Safety, even after adding George Odom, jumps out to me. Edge rusher help. And if you're not sold on Daniel Brunskill or Aaron Banks long-term, that makes sense. I wouldn't mind some more defensive line help. You've invested in corner. The Niners with no first-round pick, you're not going to get much back for Jimmy G at this point. I think it's almost the cap savings at that point. Alex Lancaster. Hey, Tom, when does the punt god Matt Ariza go in the draft? Who takes him? Team that needs a punter. I'll be honest, when I do my team needs list, I don't do punters or special teams I don't care. They'll be able to figure it out. I'm more focused on your important positions. But I could see him going top 100. Teams are going to view him as a weapon with how strong his leg is. Other teams have some concerns about the finesse part of it, the ability to pin it into the 20, just kind of booms it, which has got just a cannon of a leg. He'll go early. He will go really early. He'll probably be a really good football player, and there will also be better players who go after him who we continue to meme, a la, the pick of Brian Anger's a good punter for Russell Wilson, and that was a disaster. From Tom Downey, okay, Saquon Barkley to the Bills. Who says no? Maybe it's the Bills. Saquon's in a weird spot where the Giants very clearly are rebuilding. They are taking their time to reset that, or the Giants are, to rebuild that defense, or offense and defense. It's a slow process. And Barkley, previous regime took him. He's been banged up. They'd probably love to trade him away. Who wants that $7.22 million contract? Maybe it is Buffalo. Maybe they could restructure it a little bit to be creative there. The contract is a problem, I think, for teams because the NFL's caught up and said, you know what? Premium contracts and big draft picks for backs, it's not a great investment relative to other positions. So I could see Saquon getting dealt. I just don't know if it's for that much in the end. What do you guys think? Will the Giants trade away Saquon Barkley? Type in Y for yes, they will, or type in N for no, they will not. Let me know what you guys predict happens in the comment section. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So it's Y for yes, N for no. Chris Ayers, what do you want to see your Cowboys do in the first round? In an ideal world, you trade down, take one of those top 5 receivers or one of those top 3 interior offensive linemen. No guarantee that happens. I think they're looking guard and receiver in round 1 this year. Jason Joyner. To the Seahawks, take Sauce Gardner at 9 and Desmond Ridder if he falls to the second round. You still need offensive line help, but I would love Gardner at 9. That fills a big time. He's a good scheme fit. I will not complain in any capacity on that front. Ridder in round 2, if you think he can be your guy, sure. I would wonder if the Seahawks' best path is to not go QB at all this year, but I've got a second-round grade on Ridder, so yeah, I'd be fine with that one. From 30 Racks, what receiver can the Eagles get in the second round if they go all off or go all defense in the first? Great question. Does a guy like a George Pickens, a Sky Moore, maybe a Christian Watson fall to you in the second? I'm not sure if he does. One of those 3 guys. Guys like Jalen Tolbert from South Alabama and Bama's John Mechie. would also be quality fits for Philadelphia in round 2. It's a solid receiver class. You can find guys scattered throughout this year. Speaking of the draft, well, the draft hats are available from our friends over at Fanatics, the official ones that your favorite team's player will be wearing this year at chatsports.com/NFL draft hat. So check the comment section and that description. The link is in there for you guys for all 32 teams' draft caps. Some of them are great. I like the Giants one. The Raiders one, it's white on white. Not as good. Minnesota looks great. There's a lot of different styles. That's not all the flat brim. They've got the rounded, the adjustables, etc. So check it out. Chatsports.com/NFL draft hat. From GBK Hawk, Seahawks traded a 2023 second-round pick for Adam Thielen. Let me double-check his contract here. I would be surprised if Seattle did that because you've got Adam Thielen, who's fairly highly paid. DK Metcalf wants a big, fat new contract, and you're trying to trade, or you got Tyler Lockett. It's a lot. The Vikings, I believe, this year restructured Adam Thielen. If they trade him right now, it's an extra $8 million in salary cap charge. After the draft, they save $5 million. So I think the Vikings say no because Thielen's a really good football player, and you typically don't trade those guys away, even though he is on the wrong side of 30. CJ DeYoung III. Hey, Tom. How's the little one? She's doing great. I think she said her first word this morning. I'm not sure, but I walked up to her, and like her little little weird phrases and like squeals and whatnot sounded a lot like hi. So I wondered if she said hi. I'm not sure yet, but she's doing great. Please explain how some teams, the Rams, feel like there's no cap, other teams don't. I don't get it. Because teams like the Rams are pushing that money into the future. They are less worried about their salary cap hits right now, and they are willing 4 or 5 years from now to eat more money. They have more dead money down there than other NFL teams. The difference is the cap's higher. So those teams aggressively spend their salary cap and say, yeah, we'll pay you later on the cap. Eventually that bill does come due, but a $5 bill right now, when you have $10 in your bank account, seems like a lot. A $5 bill when you have $20 isn't as bad. And that's the philosophy the Rams take, as opposed to the teams like the Cowboys saying, we don't want to have any debt. The Rams are aware of what the debt interest rates are, and it pays off for them in the end. You don't have to go full Rams, but I think more teams should be a bit more aggressive. From, oh my God, Chandler Bing style. Will the Eagles trade away Andre? I hope that's what you're hoping I was going to do there, Jack. I don't know, though. Will the Eagles trade away Andre Dillard? I'm a bit surprised he hasn't been dealt yet because he's not their long-term left tackle. That's Jordan Mailata. And I think there are teams that need a starting left tackle. So some teams I think could make some sense, right? Carolina. Cam Irving ain't it. He's just not good. The Steelers, why don't you upgrade over Dan Moore? The Colts, is Matt Pryor your guy, or is he a guard? I wonder if he's a guard more so than a left tackle. But Dillard and the Eagles have a good relationship to an extent, right? The Saints, if you don't go tackle round 1, trade a day 2 pick for Dillard. Make him your new starter. And Seattle has like 0 tackles on the roster that have proven themselves as good. They make a lot of sense for Andre Dillard. So what I want you guys to do right now is name a player who you think ends up getting traded. Head down to the comment section and let me know what player or players, if you want to be an overachiever, you think ends up getting dealt. From Michael, DK replacements if he gets traded internally. You're banking on Dwayne Haskins. Beyond that, it's got to be draft, right? Whatever pick you get for DK, let's just say it's the Jets pick, number 10, right? You're probably going receiver. So that's a Garrett Wilson, a Jameis Williams, a Drake London, a Chris Olave, Traylon Burks. One of those guys, you spend a premium pick on a receiver to replace the one you just got. So that's why it doesn't make a lot of sense for Seattle, as far as I'm concerned. From James Heinen, then we'll get to Christopher Griffin's super chat here. If you were the GM of the Giants, what would your next 3 moves be? Side note, R.I.P. Haskins. Agree there, James. Next 3 moves, probably on my next 3 draft picks, and maybe trade away James Bradbury if I could find him. So ideally, either Evan Neal, Ika Mekwonu are there at number 5. I would then take either Sauce Gardner or Kyle Hamilton, whoever is there in round 2. And frankly, if I go corner, I'm going safety, or not round 2, at number 7. In round 2, I'm going the opposite position I went earlier. So it could be a cornerback, could be a safety that's on the board for me in round 2. I'd go the inverse of Hamilton or Sauce Gardner in that second round. Christopher Griffin. What do you think about Pitt trading Johnson and a late rounder to move up in the draft to get a blue chip player at offensive line, defensive line, or corner? I do like the creativity because I would assume you're also packaging your first round pick here because no one's giving up a top 15 pick for Deontay Johnson. But assuming you're packaging Johnson and your first to get way up there, I don't hate it. Defensive line, I don't think you need one there really, Pittsburgh. So offensive tackle, if you could Evan Neal or Ike Mekwonu, I'm intrigued. Sauce Gardner, Derek Stingley, I'm intrigued. My biggest concern here is this. Receiver now becomes a glaring need for you. And I don't like trading away assets to improve one spot only to open up and need another one unless you're not going to pay Johnson. In that case, I'm more open to it. We will be live for the entire 2022 NFL Draft. In the words of Mitchell Renz, we'll be live for like 50 hours. So if you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe for every single pick, grades each night, undrafted free agent coverage the day after. We've got you guys covered here at Chat Sports. Sterling Alba. Could the Eagles draft Daniel Falele, turn him into the future right tackle after Lane Johnson retires? What an O-line that could be. Falele's not Jordan Mailata athletically, and that should be a red flag to teams. How long do you think Lane plays? If he's playing 2 or 3 years, which I think is what's probably going to happen, I don't want to spend a top 75 pick on a guy who in theory never plays. That's not a route I want to go. I like what you're going for there, but I wonder if Lane's going to play too long to make it worthwhile. Jackson Flaxen, how about a Baker Mayfield trade to the Falcons or Seahawks? 2 decent names in there. The Falcons have so much cap issues that I think that's a problem from their standpoint. Baker to Seattle, if he gets traded, it makes the most sense, right? Like they've got Drew Lock. They can afford him. He and the Panthers probably don't want to work together. I mean, Baker. So I could see it. I think if he gets cut or Browns will eat a bunch of his money, there's a lot more interest. But Baker wants to be a starter, and the pool for those guys, it's thin from that standpoint. Other teams might just want to draft a QB early and gamble on that front. So what do you guys think? Where will Baker Mayfield play in 2022? Is it Cleveland? Somewhere else? What is it? Let me know in the comments section. From Alex, first pick this year, second next year enough for Aaron Donald? To be blunt, no, it's not. Aaron Donald is one of the best football players, if not the best football player in the NFL. And I know he's 30 years old. He's on the wrong side. I just watched Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams go for more than that. There's no way the Rams would accept a first and a second for Aaron Donald. Their asking price would be insanely high, and it's honestly not close to enough. Donald's not getting traded. That makes no sense for the Rams whatsoever.